Hello and welcome, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography, the real business challenges that professional photographers face every single day. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side, and it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. If you are new here, this is where we cut through the noise and get straight to what actually helps you build a sustainable, profitable photography business. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. This show is for photographers who feel they've got something to learn on the business side. So if that's you, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing, wonderful team are there to serve you because that's what they enjoy doing. Amanda's hired some of the best people and they love what they do. So therefore the side effect is that it's easy to work with them. The quality is fantastic and they make you look like a hero to your clients. If you haven't experienced the difference that Digital Pro Lab can make, go to digitalprolab.com. Let me put that on the screen, digitalprolab.com. You're going to love it. And of course, for Landers Photography School, and you can see on the bottom of the screen right now, you can have a free 15-minute private session with me. Landers Photography School is the photography side and the business side, although I do spend a lot more time on the business side nowadays because there's a lot of photographers who are struggling on that business side. They create pretty nice photographs, but they aren't bringing in the kind of income that they want. And so therefore, Landers Photography School, reach out to me. You can reach out to at jim@landersphotoschool.com, jim@landersphotoschool.com. But I'd say even better, take advantage of what you see on the screen right now. That's that URL, calendly.com/photoschool/15min. That URL takes you to my calendar. And that way you can find some time that works for you. Take advantage of that. I'll tell you that one more time, probably during the show today. And I want to encourage you to make comments and ask questions. Right now, I want you to go to the comments and enter in hashtag live. So I know you're watching us live today on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to 8 different places. And for those of you who are watching the replay, please comment hashtag replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show. That's how people find out about us. We don't have a budget to let everybody know. We rely on you, thinking that we have something to share with the photography world that would encourage you on your own to click that share button for us. I encourage you to do that right now. Click that share button. And of course, hit the like button, hit the love button each time you hear something that you like. Now, friends with benefits. I know what you're thinking. No, not that. I just gave it that title to get attention. You know that moment when your brother's best friend asks for a special family rate? Or a nonprofit organization asks you to donate your services? Maybe your stomach tightens, your mind races between wanting to help and needing to protect your business. I mean, you'll never get that new camera if you're giving your services away. So you're desperately searching for the right words. You don't want to damage the relationship. Today, I'm going to give you those words, and I'm going to show you how to turn those tricky situations into opportunities that might never have existed had they not asked. Yes, you heard that right. Those uncomfortable discount requests can become pathways to more business, more referrals, and stronger relationships. Mm, And there's a best part to this. Once you build those situational strategies and add them to your policy manual, your process manual, and your response playbook, I'll share what that is later. Your confidence in these situations rises dramatically, and you'll never have to stumble through those conversations again. So, whether it's your cousin's wedding, your neighbor's nonprofit, or your best friend's kid's first birthday, stay tuned. I'm about to transform an awkward moment into your next business opportunity. You ready for this? If you are, do me a favor, go over to the comment section and enter in ready. I'm ready. And if you haven't already, please enter in hashtag live, letting us know that you're watching us live today. Now, you can probably see up in the right-hand corner up here a QR code. As always, if you would like today's handout with everything you're hearing here and more, because there's a bonus, then just go to use your cell phone and camera and go straight to that QR code. But let's say you can't do that. Let me put up the URL as well. So there it is right there. But if you go to that, you can you can get today's handout. Now, chapter 1. When asked for a discount or worse, free photography services, your stomach may tighten. No doubt you're a kind and caring person who wants to help. But you don't want this to devalue your work. It's a moment that might be filled with tension, especially if you're not prepared. But it's easy to default to either resentfully saying yes or awkwardly fumbling through a no that leaves you, maybe even both of you, feeling weird. So let's reframe discount requests. They're not a problem, they're a doorway. Instead of seeing these types of inquiries as awkward situations that you would prefer to avoid, we're going to recognize them as opportunities you wouldn't have had otherwise. Here's some reasons why. Every discount request means someone values your work enough to ask you. It signals interest in what you do, which can shape into a win-win scenario. Handled right, these moments can lead to new clients, referrals, and increased visibility. Before we even get into how to handle these requests, let's address something that impacts whether you receive them or not in the first place. Your professional presence and energy helps to determine that. Your energy attracts or deters discount requests. Photographers who clearly and consistently communicate their value rarely get asked for discounts. That doesn't mean they don't, but it just becomes more rare because their confidence sends the message that their work is worth the full price. Clients who feel invested in you and your mission are willing to pay premium prices for perceived value. The way you present yourself, your pricing, your branding, and how you confidently talk about your work, all of this influences whether people assume they can negotiate with you or not. But even with strong value messaging, you still get the occasional request. So even for those guys, let's break down the 4 main types of discount requests that you'll likely encounter. There are several categories and scenarios, some of which I'll share in chapter 3. And I'll share 15 different ones in the bonus that comes with today's handout. I'll tell you more about that here in a bit. But there are 4 main categories that I see coming up again and again. The first is family and extended family. So that that close circle of influence. It may be your brother's best friend, technically not family, but close enough that they feel comfortable in asking you. Or your cousin's workspace needs new staff headshots and they assume you'll cut them a deal. Second is friends and their referrals, and maybe some past clients that are now friends. Maybe it's a friend who's followed your work for years and has never contacted you about your photography services before, but they finally have a need and they reach out to you, and they assume that that loyalty over the years with and it comes with an automatic price break. Or a past client who's become a friend and now asks for or maybe just hints at special pricing. The third of four is nonprofits and charities. Organizations often ask photographers to donate services, promising exposure or networking opportunities. And some of those are really good. Just so you know, I'm not saying that all of these requests are going to be bad. That may be the interpretation that some people receive. Some of these free and reduced are exactly perfect for what you want to do. We'll get to that. Number four, community event and business association. So the local festival wants coverage, but they can't pay for it, or instead they offer free entry to their event or exposure to all their attendees, or a group asks you to photograph their members as a favor. There's a lot of different scenarios. Those are the four that I see the most. But let's find the hidden opportunity in every request. It gets interesting. In each of these situations, there's often an opportunity hidden beneath the surface. Opportunities you might miss if you're worrying about how to figure out what to say to the discount request. Take that brother's best friend situation I mentioned earlier. Beyond just one potential client, consider the potential that just below the surface, you are looking at access to an entire network of people who are ideal for your target market. That nonprofit gala, is it a room full of people who value what you do and you'd love to get in front of? And you know that they have the means to pay for what you do. You won't know unless you ask. Let me share an interaction that I experienced. A local nonprofit reached out about photographing their annual donor appreciation dinner and asking if I could do it for 250 bucks. Well, for some of you, that might seem like a good price, but I don't have anything that's less than $400. And what they were asking for was going to be even more than that. So instead of an immediate no or reluctantly agreeing to the discounted amount, I sought out an opportunity. I asked about their donors and realized that they were my ideal client demographic. By approaching this strategically, and I'll show you how in chapter two, that one request led to a portrait project where three of them paid full price for wall portraits and a connection to their entire network. The key is reframing the annoyance of free and discount requests not as problems, but as doors opening to opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise had. Call it discovery. Instead of immediately saying yes or no to these questions, ask questions. Get to the root of the request, identify potential opportunities, and structure a response that benefits everyone. Every situation is unique and requires careful assessment. Sometimes a strategy, sometimes a strategic discount or even complimentary session might be the right decision. But understand this, it's it's just one tool that we could use. What's most important is being able to evaluate each request, identify potential opportunities, and respond professionally in a way that makes everyone feel valued, even when they don't get what they asked for. You feeling this? Give me a yes in the comments. Let me know. I want to hear what you have to say about this. And make sure to click that like button when you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, go to the comments section and enter in hashtag live. I can see that quite a few of you have done that already. Thank you, guys. I am glad that you are here. Mm-mm. I might do a couple of shout outs. I see Johnny and I see Naomi. I see Rick. Denise is here. Robin, and a bunch more. I'm not going to be able to read through all of them. I'm sorry, and not even all of them show up here. This is a condensed version that I'm seeing anyway. But I appreciate you guys being here. Hope you get a lot of good stuff out of this message today. But what if that person who's asking pushes a little bit? Maybe they insist. Even after you've skillfully redirected the conversation, some people will push back. They might guilt trip you, insist that it won't take you long, or comparing your pricing to someone else's. Here's how to handle those moments with confidence and professionalism while protecting your relationship. Number one, the kind but firm approach. You could say something like, I really appreciate you thinking of me for this. I love to work with you, and I have a pricing structure in place that ensures I can give my clients the best experience possible. And if my rates aren't in the budget right now, I completely understand. Would you, in that instance, appreciate me recommending another photographer who might be a better fit? The reason why that works is because it reinforces your value. It keeps the door open for future work and it shifts the focus to solutions and away from conflict. The second, the budget friendly alternative approach. I'd love to work with you, and I completely understand your budget concerns. While my standard sessions include full service, I do offer shorter sessions on, and maybe you give them a specific date when you're doing mini sessions that are at a lower price point. Would that be a better fit? Now, that works because if they genuinely value your work, they'll find a way to book you. This gives them a lower cost option that still respects your pricing. Now, if they were asking about an event, that doesn't apply. That's when they're asking for a headshot. Number three, the respectful no approach. When you realize it's just not a fit. So I truly appreciate you reaching out. Right now, I'm focusing on full paying clients, so I can continue the best service possible. I completely understand budget constraints, and I can recommend some great photographers who might be a better fit. Now that works because there's no apologies, there's no over explaining, just confidence, which keeps it professional while making them feel valued. Now the fourth one, the trade for something valuable approach. This would be for strategic partnerships. I'd love to find a way to make this work in a way that benefits both of us. If my regular rates aren't feasible, maybe we could explore some kind of a structured trade. Would you be open to discussing ways we could create win win situations? Now, here's why that works it shows flexibility while still maintaining your value. And it lets them know discounts aren't automatic. They need to offer something in return. So the bottom line, your confidence sets the standard. People will respect the boundaries that you set if you confidently present your value. They'll either pay your rates or they'll move on. And if they insist that, let's say, a real friend would do it for free, well, that says more about them than it does about you. Lens Legends. When you stand firm in your pricing, you don't just protect your income, you teach people how to treat you. Now that you know how to respond strategically in a couple of different scenarios, we'll go into more. Let's structure these conversations for maximum business growth. We'll do that next in chapter 2. Now, if you haven't already, go click that like button, click and enter in hashtag live. I want to know who's watching live. Again, if you're watching the replay, it's hashtag replay. And the handout you can see up here in the top right corner. Use your QR code to get today's handout. Now, I do those manually, so it'll be after the show that you'll be able to review it. Besides, you don't need something distracting your attention right now anyway. So use that or use the the URL. Put that on the screen. If you need to screenshot that, do that right now because I'm taking that right back off. All right, chapter 2. This is structuring the conversation for growth. When someone asks for a discount or free photography, your initial thought may be no. And for some businesses, that is best. It's sometimes best every time. It depends on the business. It depends on the goals. It depends on a lot of different variables. And for some businesses, you know what? Before I move on to that, no matter what, even if the answer is no, you're going to need to craft some kind of a cordial response. And I would say don't do this on the fly. Create it. Think about it when it's not when there is no pressure on you. I'll tell you some words to use here in just a bit. But for many businesses, it is beneficial to start asking questions. And I'll show you how that works. Going back to my story about the nonprofits donor appreciation dinner, when they asked me if I could photograph it for 250 bucks, I didn't immediately respond to the price. Instead, I asked about their event and their donors. What was the purpose of the event? What's going to happen at the event? Who are the donors? Who, in addition to the donors, are going to be there? Those questions and a few more revealed that these donors were successful business owners and community leaders, perfect for my target market. They most likely could afford and want to purchase wall portraits, which that's what I do. Now, if you do something else, well, then you're going to consider it against that filter, but that's the filter that I consider it against. You are engaging in a discovery process when you do this. When your brother's best friend asks for a family portrait at a special rate, start a conversation about their family, their home, their work, their connections. You might discover they're part of a parents group with 30 other families, all in the same target demographic. Once you've gathered this type of intelligence, then you can evaluate the opportunity or the potential for it. Are there potential clients in their circle of influence? Could this lead to a project that could gain a lot more attention? Is there a way to structure this so that it benefits everyone involved? Well, let's look at some specific scenarios and how you might handle them. Say that nonprofit calls, and instead of focusing on their tiny $250 budget, ask about their needs, their donors, and their goals for the event. Then offer options such as, I could photograph just the key moments for your budget. Or we could create a comprehensive coverage package that includes full event coverage, quick individual portraits of your donors and other key people. Or let's take that neighborhood festival request. Rather than just saying no to free coverage, explore their needs. Maybe they have a monthly publication and they're going to also, and it's part of your target market, and they're going to give you an ad for 3 months. By the way, sometimes that has no value. You need to evaluate that on a case by case basis. Um, could you get a contacts list to share what you do with their members? Could you set up a portrait station at their event that offers mini sessions? When you do these things, you're creating an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise and connect with potential clients in a meaningful way. The goal is to move the conversation towards value, towards opportunity. Opportunity for you, of course, but not just for you. We want them to benefit too. Win win. We're always after win win scenarios. When you're asking the right questions and really listening to the answers, you'll often find paths that lead to things that are beneficial to all concerned. When evaluating opportunities, I use a simple set of criteria. Who's going to be there? What's their potential as an ideal client for me? What's the real value of what they're offering? And most importantly, how can I structure this so that they get what they need while opening doors to what I need or want? Let me expand on the nonprofit example, the nonprofit donor example. After learning about their donors, I explained how individual portraits could provide them, how I could provide them with professional headshots. And they could use them for things like their marketing materials, a page on their website, thanking those who've contributed, their annual report, maybe a donor recognition wall, and whatever appreciation efforts that they have. This served their needs while giving me face time with each of their donors. Those crucial few minutes of interaction where I'm spending time with those donors, I am just by default able to demonstrate my expertise, and I get the ability to start building relationships with them. We'll go deeper into that conversation and some conversation strategies in chapter 3. By the way, there's only 3 chapters. There will be times when you start asking questions that people get impatient and just want a yes, no response. They're in a hurry. They don't have time for this. They have a short attention span. But don't worry. I, um, in the next chapter, I'll give you specific scripts for keeping the conversation productive and quick. For situations like the festival portrait session, there are several ways to structure the arrangement, such as an area to set up where you can do the mini sessions, or if it's beneficial to the organizers of the event, they may pay for them. But or maybe VIP portrait experiences where their key sponsors or some key volunteers are getting some kind of a VIP portrait experience. Well, the key is to match your offer to their specific needs and their audience. So we'll explore more of these structured arrangements in the next chapter. But what about when there truly isn't an opportunity to leverage? Because that happens a lot. That's when we turn to our response playbook. A response playbook is a collection of FAQs, frequently asked questions for your internal business use. You wouldn't ever see these on a website. These would be for internal, which we're going to explore in chapter 3. You'll learn exactly what to say to maintain relationships while protecting your business value, even when you have to say no. Hey, are the things that I'm talking about today resonating with you? Are you hearing this? Does it make sense? If so, will you do me a favor? Go over to the comment section right now and enter in just the word yes. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching live right now. I can see it. A bunch more of you have done it. Thank you. Maybe. Uh, oh, hey, Chris. Hey, Kiana. Glad you guys are here. And Brent. There's a bunch more. Thank you guys. I'm glad you guys are here. I hope you're getting something out of this. And as always, if you would like today's handout, it's going to include the normal handout, but it's got a bonus. Every once in a while, I do these extra bonuses of worksheets or extra handouts or just some bonus material. This one is a section of a response playbook. And that section of the response playbook is about when someone gives or asks for a reduced price or asks for something for free, and so that will be a part of it. I'll explain that just a little bit more later. But this is what the cover of the handout looks like right here, and this is the response playbook, the section of the response playbook that deals with today. And I know not everybody's heard of a response playbook, but I'll talk more about that. I'll explain that further here in just a bit. And I suppose I should put the URL for the handout just one more time. Just do a screenshot and then type that in, or use the QR code that you're seeing right here, although I'll change that here in just a moment. So use that QR code, get your phone out, use the camera app, and it'll take you straight to that URL. All right. If you need help with any of the things that I'm talking about today, or other subjects, my private coaching sessions can help you choose and implement the right tools for your business. So get started with a free 15-minute private session. And I put that on the screen a little while ago, but I'll put that on one more time. With this link, you get a free 15-minute session. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about your goals and a plan to head in that direction. Let's talk about your response playbook from mindset to response. A response playbook is your self created go to collection of professional responses for the business situations that you have faced. Now, it is something that grows continuously as you encounter new questions and situations from prospects, from clients, from vendors, from everyone else in your business environment. It's your script book of ready to use, proven ways to handle various scenarios that you encounter. It aligns with your value statement and your procedure manual. Remember in chapter one when we talked about how your energy and value messaging affects whether you receive these requests or not? This is where that meets practical application. Your response playbook isn't just about what you say, it's about how you say it with confidence and authority that reflects your value. Creating response playbook helps you transform challenging conversations into opportunities. It keeps your client relationship strong while protecting your business value. When your whole team knows exactly how to handle common situations, you maintain professional consistency throughout your business. Plus, having ready responses builds your confidence, whether you're saying yes to an exciting opportunity or no to a request that just simply doesn't align with your business goals. Right now, we're focusing on one specific section of your response playbook: how to handle requests for discounts or free photography while maintaining relationships and protecting and growing your business value. Based on what we talked about in chapter two, let's lay out three different scenarios and share some specific responses could help you that could help you use as a guide to create your own. So you're going to use these as a foundation to build on and modify based on your specific situation. So what I'm going to share with you may not exactly uh, go along or align with what you're trying to do, but you'll at least get the gist of it. So let's organize these responses into three approaches. The first is initial discovery responses. That's when, let's say, a nonprofit calls about event coverage. You might start with, "Thank you for thinking of me for your event. Before we discuss pricing, could you tell me about your goals for the event and what role photography plays in it?" Now, if this was for family and friends, you might say, "I appreciate you thinking of me for your portraits. I've worked with several family members, and I found that being clear about expectations up front helps keep both our relationship and the photography experience positive. May I share what's worked well?" Other examples of someone or some situation where someone may ask our parent groups or festival event organizers, appreciation events. In the guide that comes with this handout, I share 15 different scenarios where I give, in each one of the scenarios, I give each one of these three. I give an initial response, a follow up opportunity response, which I'll talk about here in a second, and a clear no response will be the third. So moving on to the second, follow-up opportunity responses. And the first one we did was initial discovery responses. The second one is follow-up opportunity responses. So for the nonprofit, you might respond with something like, "Your organization is doing important work. While my standard event coverage price starts at," and you give them that price, "I have some ideas for how we could structure this to benefit both you, your donors, and your organization, and me. Would you like to explore those options?" Now, if it was a community event, I might say, "Rather than just providing basic coverage, let's talk about creating a comprehensive package that includes," and I will tell them what I think is ideal in that situation. These responses are geared to open the door to discovery conversations, what we talked about earlier. But sometimes, even with perfect discovery, uh, you've asked the right questions, you've gotten the answers, but you realize that there's no quite clear opportunity for a win-win. There's nothing that you can picture in your mind as a growth opportunity. That's when you need responses that protect your business, the value, while keeping the relationship strong. So you may say, while I need to maintain consistent pricing to deliver the quality my clients expect, I'd be happy to recommend some excellent photographers who might better fit your budget. For nonprofits, I might say your organization is doing important work. While I can't offer free photography at this time, I'd love to explore ways we could structure something that provides value for both of us. Then you share how a structured arrangement could create a win-win situation. And for a nonprofit, that might be offering something that is in their budget. It's likely to be less than the coverage that they wanted. You might add opportunities, for example, individual portraits or of maybe the key individuals. For community events, you could set up a hospitality portrait area, offer VIP mini sessions, create a photo opportunity space, provide digital proofs with ordering options, build a database of interested clients. There's several things that we could do. For family and friends, you might create special event packages, special portrait packages, develop some referral opportunities, or design maybe even a multi-family session. Something that builds future booking incentives. Number three, when you're just plain saying no. This is when you don't think this fits your objectives, or after going through the discovery process, you're able to see that you need to say no. Here's how to do it while strengthening the relationships. And if you would like to do it, but at your regular rate, you may say, I really appreciate you thinking of me for this. While I need to maintain consistent pricing to stay in business, if that isn't an option, I'd love to, and maybe you suggest some alternative. This way, I can still support what you're doing while being fair to my existing clients. Every no can be turned into a future opportunity if handled correctly. The key is to leave the door open for future interaction. Sometimes the best response is a polite no. Maybe the request doesn't align with your business goals, or you simply know it's not a good fit. So here is another professional way to respond. I appreciate you thinking of me for this portrait, this event, this project. While I'm honored to be considered, I don't feel I'm the right photographer for your needs. I want to ensure you get exactly what you're looking for. Would you mind if I recommend someone who might be a better fit? Then you tell them to reach out to, and you give them the contact information, or you tell them you'll email it to them or text them or somehow get that information to them. For each type of request, you'll want to have several response options ready. And that's why the handout today includes today's lesson. It includes a template for discount and free request section of a response playbook. It includes multiple response options for each situation, guidelines for delivering responses confidently, a framework for tracking what works best. You can get this just by going to what I mentioned earlier. You can go here, or you can use the QR code to get today's handout. Everything I know I'm speaking too quickly for you to write all this down, but it's in the handout. So you don't actually need to write it all down. There's a lot of variables here, and you're going to use them just as a template, just as a guide. You're going to want to tweak it to make it your own, of course. You're going to, well, as you make it your own and tweak it, you're adding your own personal style, your own values, your process. You're adapting the language to match your brand voice, and you're keeping notes on what works best in specific situations. A little bit more about that response playbook. I know you don't know what that is, but in a few weeks, I'll actually have a Portrait Profit show about the response playbook. I think that's on February 24th, March 24th. At the end of the show, I'll tell you what the upcoming class titles are. But I'll be doing this one soon. But it's a living document. You add to it as you encounter new situations and discover what works best for your business. The goal isn't just to handle discount requests professionally, but to turn them into opportunities for growth and stronger relationships. And so I've created a template for the discount and free request section of a response playbook that includes many more discount request scenarios and responses than I've shared with you here today. So you can download that at that URL. Well, I'll put it up one more time. And so you can have this. It's not only to handle discount requests, but also as a model for building other sections of a complete response playbook. I don't expect you to know exactly what that means. I've given you kind of a brief overview, and I'll share more with you on March 24th. But the goal of that playbook is to turn potential discount situations into opportunities to maintain professional relationships, to protect and grow your business value, to create win-win situations whenever possible, to say no professionally. So take advantage of that. It's good stuff. And take a moment to go over to the comment section and write one takeaway from this show. Something that you found interesting or helpful. Friends with benefits. Was it the title that drew you in? I hope you weren't too disappointed when you realized what I actually meant. I'm just kidding. Even if you came into this lesson dreading discount requests, you now know how to flip the script. Instead of awkwardly mumbling, I guess I could do it for half. Yeah, those wouldn't be your words. You're confidently saying, I'm so glad you reached out. Let's find a win win, something that benefits us both. Now, in today's lesson, you've learned how to keep relationships strong, protect your business value, and even gain new clients. Now, you can set boundaries and navigate these conversations with ease because let's be real, friendship and exposure claims aren't coupons to your business. If they value you, they'll be happy to pay your price. If they don't, they were never your ideal clients anyway. You know what? Confidence is contagious. When you believe in your worth, others will believe it too. Take charge, stand firm, and turn these moments into opportunities. No more struggling through awkward requests. Your business, your mental health, and your bank account will thank you when you go through this process. You know what? If you haven't already, let me give you my socials. Put that up on the screen right now. There's the Facebook Portrait Profit Show, which some of you are watching on right now, and there is the Instagram account. And the shows are live there, but they're only live. They aren't recorded on Instagram. You can watch them only live on Instagram. But on Facebook, you can go back and watch past ones. At least for the time being, I might eventually put the old ones behind a paywall. We'll see. But there's you can screenshot that. I'm going to take this off the screen now. But follow us today on social media to stay updated on either one of those two, the Facebook or the Instagram account. And we're also on YouTube, but I've got some announcements that I want to share with you. Just really one. I have for those who are local, I have a a Photo 101 class coming up beginning next week on Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow. And it's every single Tuesday next month from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to meet in a different location each time. And let me put that information up on the screen. So just in case you have an interest, there it is. All right. So I've got two options for this. One is every single Tuesday, and there's four of those. Or if that doesn't work for you, I have one that is on Saturday. One Saturday, it's Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 3. So that QR or that URL is how to get that class, and that URL is how to get that one. So do a screenshot. That's the one that's every Tuesday in the month of March. And now this one is just one Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 3. So there you have it. Get that QR code real quick and you'll know what to do with it. You know what? That's Saturday, March 8th, not 9th. Sorry about that. I was looking at that date thinking that doesn't sound right. So let me edit that, and Saturday the 8th. Now it's right. Do a screenshot of that one. And that one's going to be held at Stinson Airport, which is on the south side of San Antonio. It's a really cool place to do this particular class. So take advantage of that. Now, as you know, we do the Portrait Profit Show every single Monday. So I want to share with you what some of the upcoming shows are all about. Coming up in 1 week from today, we're going to be doing 6 ways, 6 quick ways to stand out. Now, and I'll put that on the screen too. There we go. This one is, well, do you ever feel overlooked? Maybe you're struggling to attract clients who are going to value your work. You know what? The market isn't saturated. People say that all the time. It's not. The real issue is how you position yourself. In this episode, I'll reveal 6 proven ways to differentiate yourself quickly. Something that you can do probably in 1 day or 1 week. Something it can happen quickly. The turnaround can happen quickly without lowering your prices. Yeah, I know people lower their prices all the time thinking that's going to help. Not usually. There's no chasing trends. There's no working harder for less. No. I want you to start building a brand that commands attention. And I want you to be able to do it in 1 day, if possible, if you've got time to dedicate to it. And that day is March 3rd at noon. 6 ways to stand out. And that's only 1 week away. Time flies. And then a week after that is March 10th. And that's when we do it's the second Monday of the month. And on that Monday, we do a panel discussion. Now, because we have panelists on, it's hard to get them to come in at noon. So therefore, we move it to 6:30 in the evening. It's the only one that we do this way. We move to 6:30 in the evening. And we have I ask the panelists questions. I ask them the same exact questions. That way you can see their 3 different photographers' responses to whatever the questions are. So that's March 10th at 6:30. Put that on your calendar. And then a week after that is why the future of photography and life is brighter than you think. Yeah. You help your clients see their beauty. But are you seeing the world through that same lens? Maybe not if you think that things are getting worse. because I'm telling you, your brain is tricking you. The truth is that opportunities for photographers have never been better. This isn't just a lesson, it's a movement. Reframe your view, shape the world. And when you get the handout from this one, you'll also get my 30-day positivity challenge for portrait photographers. That is kind of cool. It's something to some really short thing to do, most of them, for each day of the month. So that one is again March 17th at noon. Why the future of photography and life is brighter than you think. A week after that, March 24th, I mentioned this one already. This one is how to build your response playbook. Now, what I showed you earlier, is just a section of the response playbook. This is the section that we talked about today. And I know that's too small to read. I guess you could zoom in on it, do a screenshot and zoom in, but that is part of the response playbook. In this one, you'll discover what a response playbook is and how to create one. Real quickly, it's your secret weapon for handling every client situation with confidence. From pricing objections to last minute changes, I'm revealing the exact scripts that turn awkward moments into wins. You know how there's so many times when you're thinking, well, what do I say? How do I say it? That's what this one is about. I'm revealing the exact scripts that turn awkward moments into wins. This isn't just about what words to use. It's about growing your business through masterful communication. So that's what's coming up for the next several Portrait Profits shows. Make sure to add those to your calendar. Otherwise, you're busy. You'll forget. I want to thank you, Lens Legends. I want to request that you share the Portrait Profit Show, let other people know. I want to request that you like or love letting me know that you've enjoyed what you've heard today. I want you to go to the comments section, share your thoughts or experiences on this topic today. And I want you to join me next week at noon for another Portrait Profits live stream. Today's lesson wasn't just about handling requests. It was about transforming potentially awkward situations into opportunities for growth. We explored how your energy and confidence affect whether you receive these requests in the first place. We discovered ways to evaluate opportunities and build a section of your response playbook that will serve you well. I want you to remember something. You are creating opportunities that benefit everyone involved. Your response playbook will grow with your business, helping you maintain strong relationships while protecting your value. So start building yours. Thank you guys for being here today. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm the host of the Portrait Profits Show, where we ignite passion and transform business. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep creating those powerful emotional connections that transform both yours and your clients' lives. I look forward to watching you grow. You guys rock. I appreciate you. Bye for now.